Taoiseach, I have to say, I'm just struck by the extraordinary double standards that the European Union displays, and you seem to go along with, when you look at the contrast between the way in which the Ukrainian situation is presented and the way in which the Palestinian situation is presented. It may just be a symbolic thing, but tomorrow is Nakba, the anniversary of the catastrophe, as it's known to the Palestinians, where hundreds of thousands of Palestinians were ethnically cleansed using extreme violence in 1948. Millions of them are refugees, under international law allowed back, but Israel has no intention of ever letting them back and has made it absolutely clear. We can't even fly the Palestinian flag here in the Oireachtas, we fly the Ukrainian flag. And at the European Council, we start with Ukraine, affirming absolute support for Ukraine against what is the brutal invasion by Putin. And then we come to Israel and Iran, immediate sanctions for Iran, no mention, from what I hear, about the attack by the Israelis on the consulate, the Iranian consulate. Not that I'm justifying, bombing by anybody, but the double standards. And then no mention of sanctions against Israel for what the ICJ say is a plausible genocide, and most sentient people looking at the horror that's now intensifying in Rafah and that's gone on for the last 7 months would say this is a genocide. And no discussion at the European Council about what are we going to do to sanction the regime that's doing this. We're happy to impose sanctions on Russia, happy to impose sanctions on Iran, no sanctions on Israel, despite the fact that it is probably, definitely in my opinion, committing a genocide against the Palestinian people.
Well, thanks very much. I want to thank colleagues for a range of questions. So firstly, when it comes to Palestine, I very clearly outlined at the European Council this country's intention to recognise the state of Palestine. I believe we should do it this month, and that's what I'm working towards with colleagues in government, with the three parties in government, and also with European counterparts, including the Prime Minister of Spain and other colleagues who I've spoken with and will speak to in the hours ahead. In relation to the issue of trade and the likes, I mean, I did very clearly, and I want you to know this, Deputy Boyd Barrett, I did very clearly at the European Council voice again my position, and I believe Ireland's position, in relation to the need to review the association agreement. We are only one of two countries, Ireland and Spain, who signed a letter to the Commission President in relation to that. And I do believe, whilst extraordinarily pro-European in my outlook, I do believe that European credibility does get damaged globally when we do take, or certainly in the eyes of many in the world, are seen to take a different stance in relation to one humanitarian catastrophe versus the other. I believe we should be using every single lever at our disposal to bring about an immediate ceasefire and to bring about a two-state solution. That's the approach I take when I attend the European Council. It's the approach I took at my first one, and it's the approach that I'll continue to take as well.